دیوان حافظ episode 3. In this episode we discuss Ghazal number 12. In this Ghazal Hazrat Hafez says: ای فروغ ماه حسن از روی رخشان شما، آبروی خوبی از چاه زنخدان شما. O radiant moon of beauty, from your luminous face, the water of beauty flows from the well of your chin's dimple. O you, from whose radiant face the moon of beauty and brightness borrows its light and glow, and from whose dimple well springs the water of honor and esteem, the value and worth of goodness. The water of face, apart from the meaning of credit and dignity, pride and honor, is the water that is on the face, and they would draw water from the well. In this sense, the dimple well finds a relation with water. That is, if goodness has water on its face, it has drawn that water from the dimple of your chin, which is like a well. This verse uses metaphorical language to describe someone's beauty and virtues, comparing their radiant face to the moon and their dimple to a well from which goodness and honor are drawn. عزم دیدار تو دارد جان بر لب آمده، باز گردد یا برآید چیست فرمان شما. The soul at the brink of death aspires to see you. Will it return or rise? What is your command? This soul of mine that has reached my lips, meaning it is at the brink of departing the body or death, intends to see you. What is your command? Should it return or should it rise? At first glance, it seems to me that the soul reaching their lips and the soul that has come to the lips is a metaphor for enduring great hardship and suffering, for being worn out and losing patience due to this difficult endurance. And the image was of the poet's great hardship and difficulty on the path to meeting and union with the beloved, asking in the middle of way, what should I do? Should I return or come toward you? Another point is that it is the soul that it determined to meet, not the poet himself. And this soul is one that has come to the lips. That is, the soul is in the throes of death, on the verge of dying. In this image, the return of the soul to the body is life and salvation. Life and salvation from death. And the rising of the soul is death and the departure of the soul from the body. And both these events depend on the command and order of the beloved. If the command is given to attain the meeting with the friend, the soul that has come to the lips will return to the poet's body. If not, the soul that has come to the lips will leave the body. Furthermore, the fulfillment of desire and wishes has also been used in the poetry of Hafez as the rising of satisfaction. This verse uses the metaphor of the soul at the lips to express the poet's existential dilemma, caught between the desire for union with the beloved and the acceptance of death. It reflects the deep emotional and spiritual themes often found in Persian poetry. کس به دور نرگست طرفی نبست از عافیت، به که نفروشند مستوری به مستان شما. No one around your circle of narcissus can secure a moment of peace. Better not to sell modesty to your inebriated ones. Better not to sell modesty to your inebriated ones. The inebriated in metaphor refers to the eyes of the beloved, and in the literal sense, those who are intoxicated. In this case, your inebriated ones could be those who have become intoxicated by your eyes or your love. The circle of Narcissus could also be the era or period when the Narcissus blooms. If we take the Narcissus as a metaphor for the eyes of the beloved, the circle of Narcissus could be the surrounding and vicinity of the eyes. Similarly, circling the Narcissus could mean the lover revolving around the eye of the beloved. Modesty too signifies piety, asceticism, and chastity, as well as concealment and being behind the veil. Selling modesty in the first sense becomes arrogantly flaunting one's piety and chastity before someone. It's a kind of showing off what they have with an arrogant and self-satisfied demeanor. No one around your eye and in your circle of Narcissus has gained a share of well-being or health, nor have they, out of piety or scrupulousness, closed their eyes and ignored your circle of Narcissus. It is better that no one sells the pride of piety and seclusion to the ranks of your inebriated ones, those who are intoxicated by you. Anyone in your circle of Narcissus did not partake in well-being. So, if you have been modest and have not seen it, it is better not to boast to the inebriated of the beloved. It is better that you do not claim purity in the face of your intoxicating eyes. The verse explores the theme of love, piety, and the intoxicating effect of the beloved's eyes, using the metaphor of the circle of Narcissus to describe the allure and influence of the beloved's gaze. بخت خواب آلود ما بیدار خواهد شد مگر زان که زد بر دیده آبی روی رخشان شما. بخت خواب آلود ما بیدار خواهد شد مگر زان که زد بر دیده آبی روی رخشان شما. Our drowsy fortune may awaken, for your radiant face has splashed water on the eyes. In this verse, the poet considers his fortune to be drowsy and expects it to awaken. One way to awake someone who is asleep is to sprinkle a few drops of water on and around their eyes, and he hopes that the radiant face of the beloved, which has fallen upon him like the droplets of water that sprinkle on the face of someone drowsy, will awaken his fortune. It's as if the shining face of the beloved has splashed water on the poet's eyes. This verse uses the metaphor of sprinkling water to describe the poet's desire for a change in fortune, likening the beloved's radiant face to the refreshing and awakening effect of water. با صبا همراه بفرست از رخت گلدسته‌ای. بو که بویی بشنویم از خاک بستان شما. Send with the morning breeze of Sabah a bouquet from your garden. Perhaps we'll catch a scent from the soil of your orchard. It means the beloved's face has been likened to a garden, and the poet asks the beloved that when the morning breeze blows, the Sabah breeze, to send a bouquet from this garden of their face with the wind towards the poet, with the hope that we may catch a scent from the soil of your garden. The soil of the garden could also represent the feeling of being far from home. Scent also means the effect or sign of something, as in the phrase, has not caught a whiff of humanity. A bouquet also reminds us of sending a gift. This verse uses the imagery of a garden and the scent of its soil and as metaphors for the beloved's presence and the emotions it evokes, including nostalgia and the deep human desire for connection. عمرتان باد و مراد ای ساقیان بزم جم، گرچه جام ما نشد پر گرچه جام ما نشد پرمی به دوران شما. Long life and wishes to you, O cupbearers of Jam's feast, though our cup was not filled with wine during your era. O cupbearers of Jam's feast, may you have a long life and achieve your desires, although our cup did not fill with wine during your time. It can be said that the cupbearers of Jam's feast refer to the ancient Jam himself, especially since the second line says that our cup did not fill with wine during your era. But in the first line, he wishes these cupbearers a long life and fulfillment of desires. And this brings more to mind that these cupbearers are alive. Then there remains a word era, which means time and age. Someone who is alive, their era is still ongoing. And this phrase, although our cup did not fill with wine during your era, seems far-fetched from a person or a contemporary feast. Unless we consider era as a form of distant feast. That is, we take era to mean the circulation of the cup in the feast. And we say, in your distant feast, our cup did not fill with wine. This verse reflects on the concept of time and fulfillment, using the metaphor of a cup not being filled with wine to express a sense of missed opportunity or unfulfilled potential within one's own era or lifetime. The reference to Jam feast and cupbearers as a historical and cultural layer to the reflection. دل خرابی می کند دلدار را آگه کنید زینهار ای دوستان جان من و جان شما. The heart wreaks havoc. Inform the beloved. Beware, O friends, my life and yours. The heart is restless and impatient, and it is not in a good state. O friends, I seek refuge with you. I beseech you to inform the keeper of my heart of this troubled state of my heart and bring it to their attention. This verse expresses a plea for help, conveying the speaker's emotional turmoil and seeking the support of friends to communicate their distress to their loved one. It reflects the deep emotional interdependence often depicted in Persian poetry. کی دهد دست این غرض یا رب که هم دستان شوند خاطر مجموع ما زلف پریشان شما. When will this wish be granted, O God, O Lord, that joining hands become our collected thoughts, your dishevelled locks? It expresses in the form of longing or desire. When will the time come when our goal and purpose are achieved, and it becomes possible for our imagination and thoughts to find peace and comfort in your dishevelled and tangled locks? The poet's mind and thoughts are in disarray, and the poet desires that by becoming akin to the beloved's dishevelled locks, he may find tranquility and composure. Joining hands can be considered as two accomplices, two friends who have agreed with each other. I imagine of two people who have joined hands. It is as if the poet's mind has intertwined with the beloved's dishevelled locks and has become collected and at ease. This verse uses the metaphor of tangled locks to describe the poet's yearning for a sense of peace and unity with the beloved, suggesting a deep emotional and spiritual connection. دور دار از خاک و خون دامن چو بر ما بگذری کاندر این ره کشته بسیارند قربان شما. Keep your skirt clean of dust and blood as you pass by, for many have been slain on this path, sacrificed for you. When you pass by us, lift your skirt higher so it does not get soiled with dirt and blood, for many have been slain on this path. I sacrifice myself for you. Sacrifice can be used in each of the meanings I have brought from the dictionaries. In the sense of the king's compassion, it can mean that many companions and intimates you have been killed on this path. This path could be the one that the beloved takes to pass by the poet, or it could be the same path that must be traveled for closeness and to become a companion of the king to reach that rank. Sacrifice in the sense of quiver and bow case can also bring to mind the image that the beloved themselves have killed those people and laid them to rest. I sacrifice myself for you as an abbreviated form of I become your sacrifice can also mean to go to one's death and speak respectfully to a high position. In the sense of sacrifice, it can fit into the verse in such a way that many have been sacrificed on this path for you. In each of these cases, the poet tells the beloved that since the ground of the path you want to take to pass by us is filled with the corpses of many who have been killed on this path, keep your skirt away from the dirt and blood, lest it becomes dirty, or this dirt and blood take hold of your skirt. In this last sense, keep your skirt away from dirt and blood can also be interpreted differently, a kind of warning to prevent this bloodshed and slaughter, or keep your own skirt away from the dirt and blood. Withdraw yourself. When you pass by us, can also have a form of showing power or threat. That is, you pass by us, keep your skirt away from dirt and blood, because on this path, those who have not kept their skirts away from dirt and blood before you have been killed many times over. This verse uses vivid imagery to convey a message of caution and respect, with the metaphor of keeping one's skirt clean serving as a plea to avoid the violence and bloodshed that others have experienced. The poet uses various interpretations of sacrifice to express devotion and the high stakes of the situation. می کند حافظ دعایی بشنو آمینی بگو روزی ما باد لعل شکرافشان شما. Hafez makes a prayer. Listen, say Amen. May our fortune be the sugar scattering ruby of your lips. Hafez makes a prayer. Hear it and say Amen. My prayer is this. May it be that your sugar scattering ruby lips becomes our daily portion and share. This verse from Hafez expresses a wish to or prayer for the beloved's sweet and precious qualities, symbolized by the sugar scattering ruby lips, to become a part of the poet's life. It reflects the poet's deep yearning for the beauty and sweetness that the beloved represents, and wishes he have the opportunity to be with her and taste her sugar scattering ruby red lips of her daily. ای صبا با ساکنان شهر یزد از ما بگو کی سر حق ناشناسان گوی چوگان شما. O breeze of Saba, speak to the residents of Yaz city from us. Tell those who don't recognize the truth, your polo ball is in play. O Saba, on our behalf, tell the inhabitants of the city of Yaz that may the heads of the ungrateful, those who do not acknowledge and recognize the right of the blessing and kindness you have done for them, be like a ball at the foot of your polo stick. This verse conveys a message to the people of Yaz, using the metaphor of a polo game to express a wish for justice against those who are ungrateful for the kindness they have received. The continuation of the message is indicated to be in the next verse. گرچه دوریم از بساط قرب همت دور نیست بنده شاه شماییم و ثناخوان شما. Though we are far from the table of closeness, our determination is not. We are servants to your kingship and your praise singers. Although we are far from the closeness and deprived of being neighbors with you, our will and determination are not distant. We are the servant of your sovereignty, your praiser, and your eulogist. The table of closeness could be a table at which only relatives and kins sit. And this meaning is related to the feast of Jam mentioned in the previous verses of this Ghazal. Our determination is not distant could mean that our prayers and wishes for good are not dependent on physical distance. And although we are far away, our prayers for your well-being are not distant and are always with you. It can also be said, although we are far from the table of closeness, there is this resolve and will to come closer to you and move towards you. This verse reflects on the theme of distance, longing, and the enduring connection that transcends physical separation, emphasizing the spiritual and emotional closeness that remains steadfast despite the lack of physical proximity. ای شهنشاه بلند اختر خدا را همتی تا ببوسم همچو اختر خاک ایوان شما. O high sovereign of lofty stars, by God, give me courage so I may kiss the ground of your porch like a star. O great sovereign of high fortune whose star of destiny is ascendant, I beseech God for the courage that, like the star which kisses the dust of your lofty threshold, I too may be able to kiss the dust of your threshold. This verse expresses a deep reverence and a wish to be granted the honor of showing respect to a person of high status, comparing the act to a star gracing the earth with its touch. Thank you for watching.